Okay.
My life is over.
That's nice, honey. If you're hungry...
What if America's most controversial sitcom was almost canceled after one episode? What if the Bundy's living room hid secrets that could have destroyed the show? Married with Children didn't just push boundaries. It shattered them, survived boycotts, and hid truths that even die-hard fans never discovered. Number 20. The network tried to cancel the show. After episode 2,
based on any results of this testing, because we knew, what the testing was going to be.
the secret that almost ended everything before it began. Fox executives wanted to pull Married with Children off the air after just 2 episodes because initial ratings were catastrophically low and advertisers were already threatening boycotts. The premiere episode on April 5th, 1987 attracted only 15 million viewers, disastrous numbers even for a fledgling network. But here's where it gets insane. Fox had no other programming to replace it with, so they kept the show on purely out of desperation rather than confidence. Network president Barry Diller personally hated the series, calling it lowbrow garbage in internal memos that leaked decades later. The show's creator, Ron Levitt, revealed in a 2008 interview that Fox gave them a 13-episode order but fully intended to cancel after 6. What saved Married with Children wasn't quality or ratings. It was a scheduling accident. Fox placed the show after The Tracy Ullman Show, which had a small but loyal audience that accidentally discovered the Bundys. Those accidental viewers became the core fan base that kept the show alive through its first brutal season, when most networks would have executed it immediately. Number 19. Ed O'Neill was the 7th choice for Al Bundy.
The hell is that? And so we started talking in the office, and then they had me audition. When they auditioned Katie and I together, then they have a meeting. They do the meetings.
Sure.
And Diller said, "You want my opinion?"
Here's the casting secret that would have destroyed the show. Ed O'Neill wasn't the first choice, second choice, or even 5th choice to play Al Bundy. The producers originally wanted Sam Kinison, the notorious shock comedian known for screaming profanity-laced rants. Kinison turned it down because he thought television would destroy his stand-up career. Then they pursued Michael Richards, who declined to take a role on Seinfeld instead. 5 other actors auditioned and were offered the part before O'Neill even read for it. But here's the truly shocking part. O'Neill almost didn't audition at all because his agent told him the script was career suicide for a serious actor. O'Neill had spent a decade doing Shakespeare and dramatic theater, not sitcoms about selling women's shoes. When he finally auditioned, he improvised the character's signature slumped posture and defeated hand-in-pants stance that became iconic. The casting directors later admitted they chose O'Neill specifically because he brought genuine sadness and disappointment to the role rather than playing it as broad comedy. That decision to cast a dramatic actor in a sitcom role changed television history. Number 18. Katie Sagal was pregnant, and they hid it with coats for months.
Jefferson and I are pregnant.
Oh, Marcy, that's great!
What if one of television's biggest tragedies was hidden? Inside a sitcom? During season 6 filming in 1991, Katie Sagal became pregnant in real life. The writers decided to write Peg Bundy's pregnancy into the show, rather than hiding it with camera tricks. They filmed 7 episodes featuring Peg's pregnancy storyline, building toward a season finale birth episode. But then, catastrophe struck. Sagal suffered a miscarriage in October 1991, losing the baby in her 8th month of pregnancy. The production shut down immediately. Here's the heartbreaking part nobody talks about. The network and producers faced an impossible decision: air the pregnancy episodes already filmed or pretend they never existed. They chose the latter. The entire season was rewritten and reshot, turning Peg's pregnancy into a dream sequence that Al has in the season premiere. That's why season 6 opens with Al waking up and declaring the pregnancy was all a nightmare. It wasn't creative cleverness. It was desperate damage control, covering real-world tragedy. Sagal took 3 months off, and the cast and crew never publicly discussed what happened until years after the show ended. Number 17. The show was banned in 34 countries.
Damn, my boss. Hey, don't I can remember me in that sarcastic tone? No, I need those. Hello?
Here's the censorship war that proved Married with Children was too dangerous for most of the world. By 1992, 34 countries had officially banned the show from broadcast, with some governments declaring it a threat to traditional family values. The United Kingdom's Broadcasting Standards Commission received over 2,000 complaints after just 3 episodes aired. Ireland's national broadcaster pulled it after 1 episode when religious groups threatened legal action. But the most extreme response came from Italy. The Vatican issued a formal statement condemning the series as spiritually corrosive propaganda, the first time the Catholic Church had specifically named a television program in an official denunciation since the 1950s. Here's the insane part. Fox's international distribution division actually used the controversy as a marketing strategy, promoting the show in new markets as the sitcom so shocking it was banned. Internal Fox documents from 1993 show they deliberately leaked controversial clips to international media to generate outrage that increased piracy and underground viewership. Countries that banned the show actually drove higher demand. Bootleg VHS tapes of Married with Children became underground bestsellers across Europe and Asia, making it more profitable banned than it would have been through legitimate broadcast. Number 16. Christina Applegate and David Faustino hated each other for 3 seasons.
Pregnant, Dad. Am not. Oh, then I guess it's just a beer belly.
David Faustino.
Fond memories are our laughter together, her dry humor. Her dry humor is on another level.
I love.
What if the Bundy kids' on-screen hatred was completely real? Christina Applegate and David Faustino genuinely despised each other during the show's first 3 seasons, creating such hostile tension that producers had to schedule separate rehearsal times to prevent physical confrontations. Applegate later admitted in a 2016 interview that she found Faustino insufferably arrogant and refused to speak to him off camera. Faustino responded by deliberately improvising insults during takes that weren't in the script, forcing Applegate to break character. Here's where the feud escalated into insanity. During season 3, Faustino convinced the props department to fill Applegate's dressing room with 200 live crickets as revenge for her, complaining about his constant pranks. Applegate retaliated by having all of Faustino's costumes taken in 2 sizes too small, making him physically uncomfortable during filming. The cast and crew placed bets on who would quit first. Ed O'Neill finally forced them into mediation by threatening to have both written off the show. The peace treaty came during season 4, when Applegate's boyfriend at the time defended Faustino during a bar fight. That single incident transformed their relationship from genuine hatred to lifelong friendship. Number 15. The studio audience was planted with paid laughers. Here's the secret that proves even the laughter was fake. Married with Children employed professional paid laughers strategically placed throughout the studio audience to trigger genuine audience response during filming. Former audience coordinator Michael Binko revealed in a 2019 podcast interview that Fox paid between 25 and 40 people per taping to sit in specific sections and laugh at predetermined moments. But this wasn't standard sitcom sweetening. The paid laughers received scripts before filming with jokes highlighted in yellow that they needed to respond to, regardless of whether they found them funny. Here's the technique nobody discusses. The producers learned that genuine audience members would laugh harder and longer if they heard laughter starting around them, a psychological manipulation that turned tepid jokes into huge laugh lines. The paid laughers were mostly aspiring actors who understood comedic timing and could deliver the exact type of laugh needed: short chuckle, building laugh, or explosive guffaw. They dressed like regular audience members and were instructed never to sit together. The system was so effective that other sitcoms copied it. By the mid-90s, every major studio comedy employed professional laughers. The laugh track you heard wasn't entirely canned. It was psychologically engineered manipulation. Number 14. Al Bundy's Shoe Store. Set cost: more than Katie Saagel's entire first season salary.
I don't care what your little ruler says. I've been a 7 since I...
The handyman's workbench, 5,000.
Oh, Al, hold me. I want this moment to last forever.
Let's talk about the economics that show how little the cast mattered initially. The Gary's Shoes and Accessories set where Al worked cost $137,000 to construct, while Katie Saagel's entire salary for season 1 was $89,000. The network valued the set more than the actress, but here's where it gets more insane. The shoe store set was rebuilt 3 times during the show's run, with each version costing more than the previous. The season 7 rebuild cost $224,000 because they added working plumbing for a bathroom joke subplot that appeared in exactly 2 episodes. Meanwhile, the main cast didn't receive significant raises until season 5, when they collectively threatened to walk. Production designer Ron Baldwin later admitted that Fox executives believed sets were permanent investments while actors could be replaced. The original Gary's Shoes set included over 300 real shoe boxes, filled with actual vintage shoes from the 1960s and 70s that Baldwin purchased from bankrupt stores. Each box was labeled and inventoried because insurance required tracking every prop than any 3 cast members combined made in their first contracts. Number 13. The show's creator. Was banned from his own set for 2 years, Ron Levitt.
Jefferson, my man, I got more food stuck in my teeth than my colon seen in many a year.
Thanks for sharing.
Here's the power struggle that nearly destroyed the show. Co-creator Ron Levitt was literally banned from the Married with Children set from season 4 through season 5 after clashing violently with Fox. Executives over creative control. The conflict started when Levitt refused to tone down sexual content after the Terry Rakolta boycott campaign. Fox executives ordered him to cut controversial material. Levitt responded by making episodes even more provocative. The network retaliated by stripping his producer title and informing security that he was not permitted on the Sony Pictures lot, where the show filmed. But here's the truly insane part. Levitt continued writing scripts using a pseudonym and having his writing partner, Michael Moy, smuggle them into production meetings. Episodes from seasons 4 and 5, credited to various writers, were actually Levitt's work under fake names. The cast knew and protected him, refusing to tell network executives who was really writing certain episodes. Ed O'Neill would have creative discussions with Levitt by phone from his dressing room, then implement the creator's notes while claiming they were his own ideas. This television industry rebellion lasted 2 full seasons until Fox executives discovered the deception and negotiated Levitt's return by agreeing to minimal creative interference. Number 12. David Garrison quit because he hated being the straight man.
First, they lost our luggage, then our hotel reservations. The play we wanted to see stunk, and I didn't get any sleep.
What if the original neighbor left because the show made him too boring? David Garrison, who played Steve Rhodes for the first 3 seasons, quit the show specifically because he felt his character had become a thankless straight man role with no comedic development. In a 1995 interview, Garrison revealed he begged writers to give Steve more edge and personality, but they refused because they needed someone to react to the Bundy's insanity. Here's what pushed him over the edge. During season 3, Garrison tracked his screen time and realized he averaged only 6 minutes per episode, despite being credited as a main cast member. The writers used him purely to set up other characters' jokes without giving him punchlines. Garrison's contract was up after season 3, and he walked away from guaranteed money rather than continue playing what he called television's most pointless character. The decision shocked Fox executives who offered him double his salary to stay. He refused, but here's the ironic twist nobody expected. After Garrison left, the show struggled to replace him with comparable ratings. They went through 2 different neighbor characters before finding Ted McGinley's Jefferson Darcy, who worked because writers gave him the edge Garrison had desperately wanted. Number 11, Katie Sagal did all her own singing and Fox refused to pay her extra.
Here she comes, like a beauty.
I remember holding on to you.
Here's the exploitation that proves television doesn't reward talent. Katie Sagal was a professional singer who toured with Bob Dylan, Bette Midler, and Tanya Tucker before landing the Peg Bundy role. When Married with Children started incorporating musical performances into episodes, Sagal did all her own vocals. Fox refused to pay her additional money for singing, claiming it was part of her acting performance. But here's where it gets worse. The network released a Married with Children soundtrack album in 1993, featuring Sagal's recordings from the show. She received 0 royalties because Fox lawyers argued her contract covered all performances as the character, including music. Sagal later revealed she made only her standard episode fee, while Fox earned over $2 million from soundtrack sales. The exploitation continued when the network licensed her recordings for commercials and promotional materials without additional compensation. Other cast members rallied behind her, threatening collective action if Fox didn't renegotiate. The network finally agreed to profit sharing starting in season 8, but Sagal never received back payment for previous musical performances. This controversy directly led to Screen Actors Guild rules requiring separate compensation for musical performances in scripted television, protecting future actors from identical exploitation. Number 10. The Bundy house was actually 3 different houses.
First? I mean, should we flip a coin or draw straws or...
Kids, today you're gonna witness the last great...
What if the Bundys secretly moved 3 times and nobody noticed? The exterior establishing shots of the Bundy home came from 3 completely different houses in different Chicago suburbs throughout the show's 11-season run. The original house used in seasons 1 through 4 was located in Deerfield, Illinois, but the owners demanded Fox stop filming after neighborhood complaints about tourist traffic became unbearable. Here's where it gets complicated. Production moved to a second house in Evanston for seasons 5 through 7, but that property was sold to developers who demolished it in 1993 to build a strip mall. Fox scrambled to find a third house in Winnetka that could pass for the same property. But here's the detail fans caught decades later. The 3 houses had completely different architectural features. The first had a peaked roof, the second had dormers, and the third had neither. Continuity editors tried to match angles, but careful viewers noticed doors changing positions and windows appearing and disappearing. Production designer Peter Clemens admitted in a 2007 interview that they assumed nobody watched establishing shots carefully enough to notice. They were wrong. Fan websites dedicated to tracking the Bundy house, changes emerged in the early 2000s, mapping exact locations and demolition dates. Number 9. Ed O'Neill broke his hand, punching a wall, and they wrote it into 7 episodes.
What's your difference?
Here's the on-set disaster that became part of the show. During season 8 filming in 1994, Ed O'Neill broke his right hand punching a dressing room wall after a heated argument with a network executive about script changes. The fracture required surgery and a cast for 8 weeks. Rather than shut down production, writers incorporated the injury into the storyline. But here's the insane part. They couldn't agree on how Al would have broken his hand in character. The writers pitched 17 different injury scenarios, from a shoe store accident to a bowling mishap. They finally chose the most humiliating option, having Al break his hand while trying to open a jar of pickles. O'Neill hated this explanation, calling it emasculating in interviews years later. The cast, for real-life medical reasons, appeared in 7 consecutive episodes, while writers milked every possible joke about Al's diminished masculinity. Here's the detail that made it worse. O'Neill was right-handed, and the broken hand made even simple blocking difficult. Directors had to restage every scene to accommodate his injury. Physical comedy bits written for his character were reassigned to other cast members. The production insurance company investigated whether the network could sue O'Neill for production delays caused by his outburst. They ultimately decided it wasn't worth the publicity nightmare. Number 8. The No Ma'am organization was based on a real men's rights group.
I now call to order this meeting of No Ma'am, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood. Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am, National Organization...
Pregnant, Dad. Am not? Oh, then I guess it's just a beer belly.
What if Al Bundy's ridiculous men's club was inspired by actual organized misogyny? The National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood, better known as No Ma'am, was loosely based on a real California men's rights organization that writers discovered while researching anti-feminist groups in the early 90s. The real organization, which cannot be named for legal reasons, threatened to sue Fox for defamation, claiming the show portrayed their legitimate concerns as comedy. Here's where it gets legally messy. Fox lawyers had to prove No Ma'am was satirical commentary, protected by the First Amendment, rather than targeted mockery of a specific group. Internal documents from 1993 show the network paid an undisclosed settlement to avoid trial. But here's the twist that nobody expected. After the episodes aired, membership in actual men's rights organizations temporarily spiked because some viewers thought No Mom was real and wanted to join. Fox received thousands of letters asking for information about local chapters. The network had to issue press releases clarifying that No Ma'am was fictional. However, this controversy inspired at least 3 real organizations to adopt similar names and structure, essentially creating real-world versions of the satirical club. The writers accidentally inspired the very thing they were mocking. Number 7. Amanda Bears refused to appear in the final episode.
Marcy Darcy? I'm now Marcy Darcy? What have I done? Maybe I should start wearing little dresses.
Here's the behind-the-scenes feud that destroyed the series finale. Amanda Bears, who played Marcy for the entire run, refused to film the final episode in 1997 due to escalating conflicts with Ed O'Neill over his off-camera political statements. Bears, who came out as lesbian in 1993, became increasingly uncomfortable with O'Neill's support for conservative political causes and candidates. The tension exploded during the final season when O'Neill made comments Bears considered homophobic during a radio interview. Here's what happened next.
Jefferson and I are pregnant.
Marcy, that's great!
Bears told producers she would not film any scenes with O'Neill for the series finale. Production attempted mediation, but both actors refused to compromise. The solution was creatively destructive. Write Marcy out of the finale entirely with a throwaway line about her being away on business. This robbed the show of proper closure for a character who appeared in 259 episodes. But the conflict got worse. Bears skipped the cast reunion photo shoot and refused to participate in anniversary specials. When asked about Married with Children in interviews, she carefully avoids discussing O'Neill. The two have not spoken since filming Wrapped. Cast members caught between them described the situation as heartbreaking because their on-screen chemistry was genuine in early seasons before personal politics destroyed their working relationship. Number 6. The show was almost moved to HBO. As an R-rated version,
Family coming through.
What If Married with Children became the first sitcom to abandon network television. In 1994, after 7 seasons of constant battles with Fox censors, producers Ron Levitt and Michael Moy secretly negotiated with HBO to move the show to cable, where content restrictions didn't exist. HBO executives were desperate for original comedies and offered full creative freedom, plus significantly higher per-episode budgets. Here's the shocking detail. The deal was 90% complete. Contracts were drafted, the cast had agreed to the move, and HBO had scheduled production to begin in January 1995. But Fox lawyers discovered a clause in the original production agreement that gave them exclusive broadcast rights to the characters and format, regardless of who produced future episodes. Fox could legally prevent the move, even though they wanted the show to be less controversial. The negotiations collapsed into a legal nightmare that cost both networks millions in attorney fees. HBO threatened to create a completely new show, with the same cast playing different characters in a nearly identical premise, prompting Fox to threaten massive lawsuits. The compromise that saved everyone? Fox agreed to significantly reduce censorship interference if producers agreed to stay. This explains why seasons 8 through 11 feature notably raunchier content than earlier seasons. The HBO threat gave producers leverage they'd never had before. Number 5. Christina Applegate was offered the role of Rachel on Friends and turned it down.
Worry. I cleaned up my room. I did all my chores. I'm untouchable. Hey, Dad.
Oh, I do not remember him. Wow, really got that sexy smoldering thing going on.
Friends in 1994, but she turned down the opportunity because she didn't want to play another dumb character after years of being Kelly Bundy. In a 2011 interview, Applegate revealed she was exhausted by typecasting and desperately wanted to distance herself from the ditzy blonde persona. Here's the irony that makes this decision fascinating. The Rachel character was originally written as much more intelligent and career-focused than what audiences saw. Jennifer Aniston brought vulnerability and emotional depth that transformed the role into something more nuanced than the script indicated. Applegate might have played Rachel completely differently, potentially making Friends a very different show. Here's the twist nobody expected. After turning down Friends, Applegate struggled to find work for almost 2 years because casting directors couldn't see her as anything except Kelly Bundy. She later called rejecting Friends potentially the worst career decision I ever made, though she acknowledged she was mentally burned out from Married with Children and needed time away from sitcoms. The decision cost her an estimated $20 million in Friends residuals. Meanwhile, Friends became a cultural phenomenon, while Married with Children limped to cancellation 3 years later. Number 4. The show's cancellation was announced by accident on live television.
Well, you see, when Married with Children was canceled, it was canceled in between seasons. So we were all off doing our own thing. You know, in fact, I found out. 11 years, we kept you in the black. No gifts for the cast. You know, I'm kind of speaking for the cast.
Right.
What if the cast found out their show was canceled by watching television? On March 14th, 1997, Ed O'Neill appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno to promote the current season. During the interview, Leno casually mentioned that he'd heard Married with Children was ending. O'Neill's confused reaction was genuine because nobody had informed him. Fox executives had decided to cancel the show earlier that week, but planned to notify the cast privately after completing contract negotiations. Leno's bookers had received the information through industry contacts and assumed O'Neill knew. Here's where the disaster escalated. O'Neill stammered through a response, clearly blindsided, while millions watched him process the news in real time. The Tonight Show audience laughed, thinking it was a comedy bit. It wasn't. Within minutes, news outlets reported the cancellation based on Leno's question and O'Neill's reaction. Fox was forced to issue an official statement before they'd even informed the other cast members. Katie Sagal found out by watching the Tonight Show broadcast. Christina Applegate heard from her agent who saw the news on television. David Faustino was told by a reporter who called for comment. The chaotic announcement perfectly captured the dysfunctional relationship between Fox and the show's cast that had defined 11 contentious seasons. Nobody got the respectful goodbye they deserved. Number 3. The theme song was almost a Frank Sinatra original. That would have completely changed the show's identity. The famous theme song, Love and Marriage, performed by Frank Sinatra, almost wasn't used because Sinatra's estate initially refused to license the recording. Producers wanted that specific 1955 recording because it perfectly captured the ironic commentary on marriage they were targeting. But Sinatra's representatives found the show vulgar and disrespectful to family values and rejected the licensing request. Here's how producers manipulated them into changing their minds. They commissioned a sound-alike version performed by a Sinatra impersonator and used it for the pilot episode. When network executives and test audiences responded enthusiastically, producers leaked to the entertainment press that Sinatra's estate had refused the license because they found the show offensive. The resulting publicity embarrassed Sinatra's representatives, who were already dealing with criticism about being overprotective of his legacy. They reversed their decision and granted the license, but demanded triple the standard fee, plus approval rights over how the song was used. Fox paid $75,000 per season for the rights, an unprecedented amount for a television theme song at the time. But here's the final twist. Sinatra himself reportedly loved the show and watched it regularly before his death, finding the subversive use of his recording hilarious. Number 2. Ed O'Neill refused to film the original series. Finale script.
Because I met a special someone on that cruise. He's picking me up here. I just need a minute to make myself pretty.
Person I've become. Bud Bundy has made me proud to be a woman who was born a man.
What if the series finale you saw wasn't the one producers wrote? The original series finale script featured Al Bundy committing suicide by jumping off the roof of the shoe store after losing his job and family. Writer Michael Moy conceived it as a dark, honest ending, showing that Al's life of quiet desperation had finally broken him. Fox executives approved the script. Production began. Then Ed O'Neill read the final version and refused to film it. Here's the explosive confrontation that changed television history. O'Neill told producers that after 11 years playing Al Bundy, he would not let the character die in despair. He argued that audiences deserved to see Al survive despite everything, that the show's entire point was endurance through misery. Producers disagreed, insisting that a happy ending betrayed the show's cynical worldview. O'Neill threatened to walk off set and breach his contract rather than film the suicide scene. The standoff lasted 4 days while lawyers negotiated and Fox executives panicked about airing a half-finished finale. The compromise was creatively dishonest, a rushed rewrite that ended with the Bundys sitting on their couch watching television, essentially ending the show exactly as it began. Critics called it anticlimactic. O'Neill called it merciful. Decades later, most fans agree O'Neill was right, though the leaked original script has become a cult fascination among dark comedy enthusiasts. Number 1, the show made more money after cancellation than during its entire original run.
I have made a decision. I am going back to the competition tomorrow. And I want
Here's the ultimate secret that proves Fox made the worst business decision in television history. Married with Children earned approximately $200 million in advertising revenue during its 11-season original run on Fox. But in the 28 years since cancellation, the show has generated over $1 billion in syndication sales, international licensing, streaming rights, and merchandise. Fox sold the syndication rights to Sony Pictures Television in 1998 for what seemed like a massive payday, $87 million. That decision cost them hundreds of millions in future revenue. Here's the mathematics that prove Fox's incompetence. The show airs in 104 countries in 43 languages, earning approximately $30 million annually in international licensing alone. Streaming rights to Netflix, Hulu, and various international platforms generate another $25 million yearly. Merchandise including DVDs, t-shirts, and collectibles adds $15 million more. Sony makes approximately $70 million every single year from a show Fox canceled and sold. The cast receives residuals from syndication, with Ed O'Neill reportedly earning $3 million annually without working. But here's the truly insane part. Fox executives who canceled the show claimed it was exhausted creatively and commercially. They couldn't have been more wrong. Married with Children became more valuable dead than alive, proving that controversial content ages better than safe programming. The show that networks banned and advertisers avoided became one of television's most profitable properties ever created. There you have it, 20 secrets about Married with Children that even Al Bundy himself never knew.